welcome to Railgun S, episode 16. I did not forget to do this, I was just under the weather a little bit, but this episode basically wraps up the Sisters arc, kinda finishes it off finally. I know a lot of people kinda been getting bored of this, because it's just been recapped lately, and I feel the same way, don't worry. And this episode kinda picks up right after Toma and Accelerator's first round, where he just, beat the hell out of him, kinda like left him just bleeding on the ground, and 15 ended with Misaka kind of jumping into the fight like she was about to fight, but y'all know she doesn't really do anything. And jumping into the episode, Accelerator versus Toma again. Like I said, Toma eventually wakes up after he hears Misaka talking. I guess her voice kind of woke him up, and he, like I said, runs in there and just finishes the fight, beats Accelerator, punches him in the face. But before Accelerator takes his final blow to the face, he kind of quotes himself saying that eventually I knew my power would turn the world against me one of these days. Because they show like flashbacks of him as a kid before all the experiment stuff, and once he discovered he could level up to 6, it kind of changed the game for him. He became a power hungry, greedy character where he just wanted power. He didn't care at what cost it took to get this power. And it just shows that he's an evil character in the beginning, but through a certain series of events, like such as this event here, he does change, and he has to, give up his evil ways eventually. But that's a little ways off. He still needs to meet Last Order, which I don't think is going to happen this season, because it's, Railgun obviously, so Misaka's story. And I did think it was cool that before Toma did beat Accelerator, Misaka actually stood up for her sisters and finally accepted them as her family, which made her, or Misaka, 132 next to her, kind of like smile and get a little happy, because in the beginning Misaka never acknowledged them as her sisters. She kind of hated the idea that they're sisters, because I guess, to her she felt it's better to ignore them and not think they're there as a way to get over the fact that they're being killed. But anyway, I thought it was pretty nice with her and everything. And after that, we get, I guess a few days later maybe, where everybody's recovering, like Toma in the hospital for instance. We had Misaka kind of eventually stop by to see him, and she brought him these store-bought cookies, and he was just kind of complaining like, aren't you supposed to bring, like homemade cookies or something? And Misaka gets mad, like, basically says something like, what kind of character do you think I am? I'm not that type of girl to cook cookies for someone and bring them to him or bake them for him. They have this back and forth for a little bit, and she does get mad and shock him, but in the end she kind of is thankful for what he did, but she still feels a little bit guilty. That is her fault technically for the sisters being killed. He's just like, if you did not give them your blood or anything, they didn't make clones of you, your sisters wouldn't have experienced, all this life and stuff. Yeah, a bunch of them were killed off, but through the Misaka network, each of them can, learn to change and learn from the bad experiences and actually have some good experiences as well. So that's what she takes away from that. She's kind of happy about that. And she leaves and she runs into her sister, and they kind of go to the park for a bit and kind of hang out. And this part was kind of funny, because we had these 2 other little kids that were kind of watching, and Misaka's trying to give this big speech to her sister, and the sister runs off to go to the swing set, and she's basically swinging while Misaka's just like face palms, like, really, you're gonna do that? And I'm trying to have a conversation with you. And you have those 2 little kids there, and one of them was trying to figure out which sister was the older one, and she was getting kind of upset. And the clone kind of piped in that, who do you think's the oldest one? And the little kid happens to see this frog thing sticking out of Misaka's pocket, and she's just like, oh, she must be the younger sister because she has a toy in her pocket. And the real Misaka's just kind of like embarrassed that she can't really defend that fact, because she does like cute things, and that's what the other Misaka says. She says, she likes cute things, won't ever admit to liking them, but in the end she's reliable, and that's all that she really needs. And Misaka does tell them that if they ever need anything, they can come to her and she'll help them out. That kind of gives a little bit of closure to the whole, like, you know, I accept you as a family, so, you know, we can move on from this now. And cut to that, we have, you know, days later with, I guess, Toma getting out of the hospital. And Misaka did bake some cookies for him. She was going to bring them to him, but she really can't give them to him because she's just really embarrassed about the whole thing. I guess her character, she just isn't like, you know, dealing with things like this. It's hard for her to do, you know, giving something to someone else, or I guess in a way it's like giving a present to someone that she likes. It's very hard for her to get over that fact that, you know, Toma is someone that she's interested in, but will never, I don't think will ever happen between them, but, you know. But yeah, she does die from embarrassment, and before Toma actually leaves, he makes fun of her name, calling her Berry again, which is her little nickname he gave her. And she says, like, you know, my name is Misaka Makoto, and he finally stops and says her full name, or Misaka, and she kind of, I guess, blushes really intensely. We don't get to see it though, but I guess that's what happened. Because Kiriko eventually pops up and she's just like, gives this like weird face to Misaka, like, what the hell? You know, she's shocked that you're making a face I've never seen before. And I just assume it's just a deep red face because Toma, you know, finally said her name, and I guess in the usual anime way, that's, I guess, a big deal to them. You know, they always use like your last name, and I don't know, I guess that means either, you know, it could be taken either way, a friendship, you know, or a romance developing in the future. But yeah, Kiriko's shocked, and Misaka kind of runs off happy, and you know. And then they cut to Satin and Yuharu, who are both like, well, it's nice to see Misaka back to her old self. And with that, I kind of agree. It is nice seeing Misaka back to her goofy ways of, you know, blushing and getting embarrassed and things like that. And yeah, the cool stuff, I guess, we might as well overall arc, because this is, you know, finally the end of this arc. Basically, the whole build-up was just, for me, was Toma fighting Accelerator. I mean, we had the stuff with Item, which was really awesome, because you got to see Misaka use her power in different ways. And you got to see everything in Railgun Index Season 1 from Misaka's point of view, which is a nice change of pace. But in the end, this is still technically a recap of the Sisters arc from Index. But yeah, it was, I don't know, it was a long recap. I kind of wish they kind of nipped this in the butt with 10 episodes instead of 16. That's like, you know, a quarter of the series is done now, and that kind of sucks, because they're not gonna get to some of the fun stuff that is gonna happen. But anyway, episode 17 is gonna be slice of life, kind of cute girls doing cute things, which is fine by me, since episodes like, I think 3 through 16 have been action, story, and depressing moments with Misaka being sad. So with 17, the preview showed Satin, Yuharu, and Kiriko kind of hanging out with her, and even Frenda from Item showing up, which I'm not sure if she's going to be in the same scene as them, if she just walks by, sees them, hangs out with them, or what. But I thought it was kind of weird that she popped up. I'm like, okay, but maybe they're going to call, you know, truce. I don't know. Technically, Item was just hired to take her out, not anything else. But anyway, I think I'm already reading that they are gonna have some beach episodes, so expect that maybe around 18, 19, or maybe 20. I don't know, we'll see. But for now, I think we're gonna be having a bunch of filler episodes, which is gonna be like kind of boring, kind of dumb, but like I said, it's a different change of pace from all the action we've been having for quite some time. But anyway, that's been my review for Railgun S 16. See you guys for 17.